Hi viewers, welcome to Beginners Tech Road.
In this video, I am going to explain about Microsoft Visual Studio. Okay, so what is Visual Studio? It is an integrated development environment from Microsoft. Okay, so in Visual Studio, we can write all our programs. Now let's look at how to get Visual Studio and how to install in our personal computer. Okay, so we can go to browser. So here we have Visual Studio Community Edition. Okay, so this Community Edition is freely available for the students and individual developers. So we can search Visual Studio Community. Okay, so then you can find the link Visual Studio Community current version 2019. It's a free IDE and developer tools. Okay, so if you click here, then it will take to the Microsoft site and we can see Visual Studio Community and download Visual Studio. Okay, so you can click this link, download Visual Studio. So once if you click this link, the application will be downloaded to our local folder, downloads folder. So after download completed, okay, so you can find the executable file in the download folder. So once if you double click that executable file, okay, so then it will install the application. So it's very easy to install. You will get various on-screen instructions prompts, so you can proceed to install the application. Okay, so once if you double click, once you install the application, once installation completed, then once if you open the double click the application, so you will get after the download and installation, then you will get to a prompt of this screen. So here the option workloads, the first option will be workloads, individual components, language packs, installation locations, all the things. So once if you double click that downloaded file, it will take the respective required files, whatever the installations required, the basic, it will be doing, and then it will prompt to this screen. So this is the where the main screen where you are going to install the various workloads for the Visual Studio application. So if you see here the ASP.NET and web development. So here if we check this checkbox, then this development workload will be installed, ASP.NET and web development environment. These applications will be installed so that you can develop using Visual Studio. You can develop ASP.NET and web development applications. So like this, you can see various workloads available. So whichever you require, you can choose. Okay, so if you want to develop ASP.NET and web development applications, then you can choose this. Example, if you want to just try for the only a desktop development like Windows Forms and console applications, okay, you can use this checkbox. So like that, whatever you require, you can choose. So after choosing the respective, here you will get the install button. So if you click that install, it will continue to the installing all that workloads, whatever it is, all that environment, so that whatever the options you have chosen here, that respective development you can do using in Visual Studio. Okay, so we are going to practice on C# programming language. Okay, just we will try first in all our practice into the Windows Forms console applications, so that we can choose this .NET development, .NET desktop development, this option. Okay, and then install it. So after completion of installation, so once if you again whatever the prompts you will get on the screen. Once if you complete the installation, then you can find the Visual Studio installed in your computer. So you can go here and then you can search Visual Studio. So you will get this. So here you can click. So Visual Studio 2019 app, it will be installed. So after installation completed, you can find this. So in the search, as soon as you type Visual itself, you can find this Visual Studio 2019. So if you click here, it will be opened the Visual Studio application. It will just take a few moments of time. So this is the IDE, Visual Studio IDE. It is we installed a community edition. We installed community edition. So it is a free edition for the students and developers. So we can use this application for our development. Okay, so as soon as you open, it will be prompted for Visual Studio 2019. Here open recent. If any recent applications or anything, if you open, it will be showing here. Then you will be having here the options. Get started, clone a repository, open a project or solution, open a local folder, create a new project. So as we are just installed and opening the application, okay, to do some programming, you need to do you need to create a project. So using create a new project, the last option, we can. So once if we created the object, then later on, if you want to open, then we can use the second option, open a project or solution. So we go with the create a new project. Okay, so the last option, we are going to click on the create a new project. So once you click on create a new project, then it will continue for selecting the templates. So for the project, whatever the project you are going to create, so already the Microsoft Visual Studio will be based on your workloads, whatever you have chosen. So whatever it's installed already, it will be showing on the screen to pick the respective template for our new project. So if you wait for a moment, then it will be loaded all the available templates. See, now it's shown all the available templates. So whatever the workloads we have chosen, based on this list will be showing. So now here you will be having the various options here. All languages drop down. If you click, it will be showing whatever the languages we can use. Okay, based on the selection, whatever we have chosen in the workload while installation. Similar way, platforms, whatever the platforms. Similar way, all project types, whatever the types of projects, everything will be showing here. So let us practice on C#. So you can pick here C# language. So once if you click from this drop down C# language, then it will be showing the under the C# language, whatever the templates are available for your new project, it will be showing here. Okay, even here you can search directly also. Suppose if you want to search like a console application, so you can type console like that, whatever you want, you can directly search here to pick the respective template. Or to let us practice C# language with console app.NET Core. Okay, console app.NET Core. And here also, if you see various class library, .NET standard, like that, various options will be there here. So we can learn those things later on. If you see as an example, first let us practice on console application for a C# language. Okay, in the console app also, if you search here, even directly also, you can console app. If you search, See, you can get it like three types of console app, like a console app.NET Core, console app.NET Framework, and one more, even console app.NET Standard also, it will be there. Okay, so these are the three various types. It's like a console.NET Core is the application. It's a development for a cross platforms. Like it can be like a Windows, Linux, Mac OS, like this cross platforms. It supports. .NET Framework is like a just Windows applications, whatever we can develop. So like this, various versions, the best let choose .NET Core so that these applications can run on various platforms like Windows, Linux, Mac OS, anywhere. So we are going to choose this, the first option, console app .NET Core, and then click on the button next. So once if you click on the button next, it will be showing project name and then location, solution name. So you can give your own project name, your own solution name, and wherever the path you want to store, this is the default path, wherever the path you want to store, you can change accordingly. So I will take as a default options. Okay, so then I will show you what is the project name, what is the solution name. Okay, currently I am giving both same. Okay, whatever the way solution name, you can give one name, and project name you can give another name. Even you can do that. It's nothing but the solution is the top level. So in one solution, you can have a multiple projects. So currently I am leaving both as a same name, console app one, project name console app one, and then create. If you click create, then you will get the project created with the whatever the options we have chosen, like a console app one. So automatically the environment will make available with all the things, whatever you have chosen, so that it's created based on your template. So it's created, and default, we got this, some code also it's already written. So if you look at what is this, okay, every structure, if you look at the default, what it's loaded, if you see, so this is the Visual Studio IDE. Okay, this as a whole is showing you are getting a complete Visual Studio IDE. Here on the top, if you look at, you have a various menu items. Okay, file, edit, view, project, like that. And if you click, it's like a standard Windows application. The way how it looks, similar way, even Visual Studio IDE also, it will be showing. So if you click on the file menu, you will be getting like a new project. Here also you can have an option like a file. If you want to add another new project, you can have a new project, and then is other files when you are adding new file. So like this, and open the existing, again like a open project or solution website, like this, it will be having the option. And even after opening whatever the solution, if you want to close, you can close, and you can save the respective files, so like that, and exit. All that standard options will be there. Okay, so I will give you few important out of this all the menus. I will give you few important where you want to know few things. I will explain now. And if you come here, the right side, you will be having a solution explorer. So if you click this solution explorer, now you can see here the top, on top, it is a solution console app one. This is the name what we have given while creating a project. So solution name console app one. So under the solution, here another one, console app one. So this is nothing but it is a project. So as I have given solution name and project name same, so that you are getting project name also console app 1. So like this, under the project, you are having dependencies. So this is what is this dependencies. So if you expand here, there is options expand, collapse like this. If you expand, and you can expand like this, and you can collapse like this. So under dependencies, you can see frameworks, and under that Microsoft.NET Core App. So this is nothing but this is the built-in library what Microsoft provided for the with Microsoft C# language. Okay, so this is the .NET Core App related, whatever the library required, that is as a dependencies automatically added to your project. Based on the project, whatever you have chosen, we have chosen a console application project, so that related to console application project, under the framework, whatever it is required, the built-in library, the entire library will be loaded automatically. If you expand here under the library, whatever is available, all the built-in assemblies, everything will be available in this library. So, and then, so this is what I mentioned, like .NET Framework library. It is a built-in library. It is provided by Microsoft. We can use that whole library for a developing your C# programming languages. Then here, the next item, if you see, this is what the initial what it's loaded on a this work area. So program.cs. So this is the class file name. So in this console application, the one default class file name is already loaded. Okay, so in this class file name, the program.cs, if you expand this, even under that class name, whatever the class is there, like a class program, it will be showing here. So this is the structure of the Solution Explorer window, if you see. So solution, under the solution project, under the project dependencies, and then the various files, whatever you are going to create and add to the application. So default one file is already, when as you have chosen a template, automatically the Visual Studio created this file. Okay, so in this file, if you look at from top to bottom, if you look at, this is the file. Here we have a using system, okay, and semicolon, and after that you have a namespace and then console app 1. So whatever the project name we have given, default it's taken same name. So under the namespace you have the class name is program. Okay, so this is the structure. Then inside the class we have this block, code block. So this is the, under this class, this is the main method. Okay, so if we look at in detail one by one, what is in this structure? Okay, so the first one, using system. So this is nothing but, okay, we have a library. Microsoft provided a library. Okay, in that library, if you want to use, actually from the built-in library, the default, whatever the C# language provides to write in our programs, those are all will be available in the built-in library provided by the Microsoft. Okay, so to use that built-in library to the your program, wherever you are writing in your class file, okay, you want to write a statement, okay, whatever the libraries you are going to use it, those you are going to use it. It's nothing but, if you go to in this menu, as I said here in a view menu, we have a option object browser. So if you click this under the view menu, object browser, if you click it, okay, so it will be showing the object browser. So here you can see this is our project name. After the project, we have all the built-in library showing here whatever is under the default dependencies, whatever the framework gets loaded in that, all the built-in library, complete library it is showing. Okay, in this here we have a system. Is the, if you click on this system, we can see it is a assembly. System is the assembly. Okay, and then one more, if we come here, okay, so if you come back to our program, in this area here we have a console.writeline. So as we discussed, like a various conversion methods, we discussed like a convert.toString, convert.toInt32. So like that, we understood like the convert of the class and toString is the method. Similar way here, the console is the class and writeline is the method. So this class console class we have written here, like the default code is written this console.writeline method. So this console, if we keep the cursor on this console class name here, see it's showing the below a context help. So this is the advantage of this IDE, integrated development environment. So it gives the details about what is this. So this is the class console. Okay, before that console you can see system.console. Okay, it's a nothing but that system.console is the a complete assembly. Okay, so as this console class we are using, where is this class available? If we come back to object browser, we have here system.console. So if you click on the system.console under the object browser, you can see here right side assembly system.console. Okay, so this is the assembly system.console. If you expand here system.console, okay, you can see the first one, system is there. So under system.console assembly, if you expand in object browser, you are getting system. So what is this system? It's saying namespace. This system is the namespace and the system.console is the member of this namespace. Okay, so the console is under system namespace. So the way, if you see in this program.cs, in our code also here in this block, if you see, you have here namespace and console app. Under the namespace, you have the class program. The same way, this is the code what we have written here using the template. The Visual Studio created automatically for us. But in the object browser, this is what it is from the built-in library. If you see, in this system console also, the top level, the namespace is system. Okay, so this, under the system, if you expand, then you are having, this is the class console. See, class console. On this area, if you see, you can having here it's showing various things. It's like a various members of that class. If you see, the most, these are the methods. So Writeline also we can find here. See, Writeline method we have. So this is the Object Explorer. If you look at to understand, okay, you can get idea that the structure, if you see, the namespace will be the top. Under the namespace, we can have a classes. So inside the class, these are the members. So this is the main is the method. The way in the console class, Writeline is a method. Similar way in our program, the class name program, under program, the main is the method. Okay, so what is this main method? It is a special method. Okay, what is this main method? It is a entry point for a C# applications. Okay, so this is the entry point for C Sharp console and web forms applications. Okay, to run that applications, there should be a starting point, entry point. So the entry point, it defines like when you execute the application, where the application is going to start, and this is the method first that is going to be invoked when you execute. So that is the reason this is the mandatory method. This main method you should have mandatory for the console or Windows Forms applications. Okay, so why? Because this is a required for as a execution entry point. Okay, so that when you execute the applications at the starting, it starts from this method. Main method will be invoked first, so that whatever the content, like various statements, whatever the statements we are going to write in this main method, that statements from one by one will be executed. So that is the use of this main method. So the way structure, as you understood here, namespace, under namespace class, and inside the class various members. This is the main as a method in this class. Okay, so I'm going to explain more about what are the classes and how we can use classes and what are the methods. All those things I will explain in more details later on when we discuss about various objective oriented concepts. In that, as a beginning class, how we can write classes, what is a class, method, everything I will give you more details. But at this point, if you understand the structure of the programming when you write, if you understand the namespace, under the namespace class, inside the class, as a console application, the main method is a mandatory to as a entry point. Okay, so then this is the using system on top of namespace. If you want to use any other namespace, and inside that namespace, whatever the classes, methods available, if you want to use, then above the namespace as a first statements, you need to, whichever the namespaces you want to use, you need to mention like using one space and then that respective namespace. As we understood, like which namespaces we want to use here is nothing but whatever the code we are writing, in that code, whatever the classes or methods from the library, whatever we are going to use it, okay, all that related namespaces you need to include here using space, that namespace. See here, if you keep a cursor, it shows namespace system. Why we are mentioning here using system? Because as we are using here console.writeline method, and this console.writeline method is available under this system namespace in the system dot console assembly. So that is the reason we are using with the namespace names. So with the help of object browser, you can understand which namespaces you need to use based on what methods you are going to, or what classes you are going to use in our program. Okay, so if you don't use this, okay, if you remove, so instead of removing, if you want to keep, but it should not use for a execution, then we have a option like commenting. So if you use like two slashes, so it's used as a commenting. It's a single line comment. It means the whole line. Okay, wherever you keep these two slashes, the whole line will be treated as a comment, so that it will not use for the programming. So instead of removing, just I made it as a comment. Okay, so remove means totally you have removed, but later on if you want to use, okay, you can make it as a comment. But for a programming, this is not going to be executable. It treats as a comment. So that now see, once if I made a comment of this line, what happened? Here we are getting a red underline indication. It's a showing a error. Console does not exist in the current context because this console from where it is available, okay, it cannot understand, the program cannot understand. So you need to make clear from where you are using this. Okay, so where it is available based on the object explorer, in which assembly, in which namespace this is available, so that we need to make clear for a programming. So that is the reason if we include this using system, then this error will be removed. Or suppose if you are not using, then how we can? Is other way is you need to use a complete like a namespace dot class name dot method. So like this you need to use it, then it will be working. But the advantage why we can use on the top using keyword, the advantage is suppose if you want to call the same method multiple times like this, then you need to write again system.console. So like this, instead of repeating the system dot that namespace for every method to call, okay, the advantage is instead of repeating, simply you can use as a one time, like on a top using system. Then automatically under that namespace, whatever available, you can straight use in your program instead of repeating the namespace. So that is the advantage. So that is the reason the best use is if you are using multiple times, better to use on the top using keyword. This using keyword, you can include the whatever the namespace is. So this is the structure of the class file if you look at. Okay, so now, okay, as you made some changes, the program.cs is showing as a star. You can save so that the program file is saved. Okay, so this is about similar way. Okay, you can once again we don't want these two lines to repeat same thing, so we can make comment like this. So like this, okay, this is the single line comment, means wherever you keep this, the line become from that to the end of the line will be commented. So this is the single line comment. Okay, and also you have a, if you want to comment multiple lines, then slash star once again star slash like this. So here you can write multiple lines comments like this is my first C# language program. So like this, and this gives output on screen hello world. So like this, you can use, this is the multi-line comment. So the comments are useful for various purposes, like as I mentioned earlier, temporarily if you want to comment some code and if you want to see without that code what happens, like that situations you can use comment, as well as to document what the code you are writing, to describe about various statements or various logics, okay, or functionality. So in that cases also you can write like this comments, like using a single line or multiple line, however you require. Based on that you can write the comments. Okay, even the single line, even at the end also like this also if you keep, so from this position end of the line is commented. So see, this is not commented. wherever you started this, from this position to end of the line is commented. Okay, so that is the comments usage, single line comment, multi-line comment. Okay, so next few more things quickly to discuss about this IDE. Okay, so the context help, whatever I mentioned here. So the main, if we keep a cursor wherever, it's going to describe about the what is it, like that. And also example here, if I type console dot, so as soon as you type console dot, then automatically it shows under that class whatever the members available, it will be showing all this. So you can scroll and you can see. So in this, even write line, if you type, so WR, if you type with that two characters WR, whatever the members available, it will be filtered in that list. So like this, and even various things are there. So console.writeline method, what this method does, whatever the value you are passing here, okay, that string is going to show on the screen. It's going to write on the console, so that when you execute this application on the screen, we will get hello world. Okay, similar way, even one more is there. If you want to wait on the screen, okay, if you see here, REA, as soon as I type, we are getting three methods: read, read key, read line. So like that, even it shows. And right, next level help, if you see, it giving console.read, reads the next character from the standard input stream. Okay, like this, read key, like this, it will give you a context help. So that is the another advantage with the integrated environment. Okay, so like this it will be there. So example, the read key, if we take this read key method, so what this does, read key method, so if you keep here also cursor, it gives like a clear details, obtains the next character or function key pressed by the user. The pressed key is displayed in the console window. So like this, all the explanation it will be provided. Okay, so this we just, we can use this for a wait on the screen, have to get a prompt, so that if you want to look at an output screen, whatever displayed, and if you want to wait for some time, you can use for the read key, or even to take some data also, it can, we can use it, these methods. Okay, so like this. So this is the one advantage with the context help. And also when you type something like this, even a part of things, when you type, and if you want to take a proper thing, control space bar, when you give, automatically it will be corrected with all the uppercase, lowercase, like that. So that way you can easily, you can type the whatever the methods, and also automatically the context, it will take it, it will suggest based on this, even whatever the available, control space bar, you can use it, so that it will automatically pick that, satisfied the complete word. So like this is the things. And also we have the options here, the project menu, if we go, we have adding for this project various other items to add new items, add existing item. So like this, various other items to add it, you will be having under the build. If you go see now, whatever the program we have written on the project, so if you want to execute, next step what we want to do, we want to build the application. Okay, why we need to build the application? We know that whatever we have written in a high level language, okay, that is a very best understandable for human beings, but for a computer to run, we need to build, so that it will compile and it will create the executables, so that it can be run on the respective target platforms. So for that we need to build the application. So all this under the build menu, build solution, rebuild solution, or this build solution or rebuild solution will give you a whole solution to build in one time. It's nothing but under the solution. If you have a multiple projects, you can build all the projects. This build console app under this options is only the respective project it will build, and even publish to publish into the some other outside any places if you want to publish. Okay, we can use these options. So like this are there under the build. Similar way, if you go to a debug, we have under the debug few options. Okay, what is the debug? So the debug is nothing but, so we have options start debugging, start without debugging. So when you run the application, as we discussed, the main is the entry point, so that it will start from here. The execution will start from here and it will continue and it will end the last statement. Okay, so that when you run without debugging, so it straight runs and it will give you the output. If you run with the debugging, you can step in one line by line, you can step in and you can see how the execution happens. So like this. So all these options will be available under the debug. Okay, start debugging, start without debugging, as well as here step in, step over, all these options, and also the breakpoints. So if you want to put breakpoints, so step in, you can do line by line. If you want directly to put one area breakpoint, so that you want to stop execution at that breakpoint, and then if you want to see what happens, the execution, how the sequence of the execution, if you want to monitor. So example here, if you keep a cursor and then if you go to debug, here toggle breakpoint. So if you click toggle breakpoint, see you can find here the red mark. So it created a breakpoint. So like this, you can use the under debug toggle breakpoint option or a shortcut F9, or even the leftmost, you can come here and you can click, so that one time if you click, it will give the breakpoint. If you click one more time, it will remove the breakpoint. So like this, all the three options, whichever the way, we can set the breakpoints. So that kind of things, options, toggle breakpoints, and all the next breakpoint positions to look at like this. These are all the options available under this IDE. Okay, so now let's see executing this. So debug, first we will see start without debugging. So we will execute it. We will observe what the result we will get with this sample program. See, now we got the output hello world. See how, if you look at the output and what program we have written, if you see, we have written console writeline, so that this is the console is the class and writeline the method. We have given the value as an argument hello world, so that the console writeline method, what it does, it will show the this string whatever we have passed, it will show the word on the screen, so that the hello world it showed on the screen. Then the next statement, whatever we have written console.read key, so that the cursor is waiting. So it's waiting to read any key, whatever the key, if you press from the keyboard, so that if you press enter or anything, then see it will be giving the execution is ended. Then it's giving press any key to close the window. So if you press enter, so the window is closed. Only it showed only a hello world and read key. Why? Because we have written only the two statements. So that is the reason we got the whatever the result, and then program execution is stopped. So this is the, as it's a entry point we mentioned, when we execute this application, it's starting from here. Okay, so same way now, if you put a debug point, okay, in this area. So if I put a debug, okay, I just click at the leftmost. So I got a debug point. Now, if I run with start debugging, so then what it does, the pointer, the execution pointer, as we discussed, when you execute, the main method is the entry point, so if you run with a debug, now it's loading all the debugging things. So if you go to here, see now here the yellow, the breakpoint, it is showing here. So once the execution point reaches to that position, then automatically your execution point will be shown here. So it's building all the application and it creating the debugging points. Okay, so the compile time, it's taking more as we put a breakpoint. See, now you can see the yellow, okay, background. It's highlighted here. And on output, if you see, nothing is showing because it is waiting here. Okay, all these windows we can minimize. So if you see, it is waiting here. So now if we go to debug, and here you have a stop debugging is there, and then step into. Okay, step over, step out, we will learn later on, like the step into is a line by line, it will allow. The step over, step out, when we write a various methods, various classes, so that if we jump our execution from one method to other method, so at the time we can understand better way the step over, step out, how it will be useful. But now step into or F11, if you click this, see the execution point move to the next line. Now if you see here, you got hello world on the screen. So now the next, again, if you go for a debug and step into, then what happens? The read key executed, so that cursor is waiting. Now if you press any key, see now the execution came to this brace place, so it is waiting there. Now again, if you use a debug, step into, okay, or function key F11. Okay, directly suppose if I use a function key F11, see this is the last statement, so the execution ended. So the output here also it's showing everything. Press any key to close the window. So if you press enter, the execution is stopped. So this is the Visual Studio IDE, the environment to understand and write our programs.
Thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe to our channel for more videos.